Hi friends, it's Miss Christina with some mad science for you today. We're going to do an experiment called walking water, and I don't want to give away too much until you've seen the whole thing, so we're going to get right into it. For this experiment, you don't need a lot of materials. You do need 7 clear plastic cups. The short ones work the best, so something like this size is perfect. You need 6 sheets of paper towel. So if you have the ones that are like select a size, so they're skinny like this, that's perfect. If you have the regular size paper towels, they're a little wider, you can just cut them in half so they're about this size. So they're kind of tall and skinny. You need some water. So I have a pitcher here. And you need blue, red, and yellow food coloring. And I think that's it. So the first thing you want to do is fill up your cups of water, but we're not going to fill up all of them. We're going to fill up every other cup of water. So you have one with water and then an empty one next to it. And you want to fill it up about 3/4 of the way full. So not all the way to the top, but about to here. Okay, so I'm going to start with this being my number 1 cup. So you want to put some water into your first cup. And we're going to leave this one empty. So then your third cup is going to get some water. Empty. Then your 5th cup is going to get some water. We're going to keep this one empty. And then your very last 7th cup is going to get some water as well. And you want to line them up like this. So they are pretty much touching. Keep them in a nice straight line like this. And now you're going to take your red food coloring and you want to put 5 drops of food coloring in your first cup and your 7th cup. So we're going to take the red and we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to watch the food coloring kind of swirl around and get all mixed up in there. Then we're going to take our yellow food coloring and put 5 drops again into the 3rd cup. So we have 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you accidentally get an extra drop in there, that's okay, but you want them all to have the same amount of drops. So if you accidentally do 6 drops, then you want to put 1 more drop in the others so they're all even. Okay, and then finally we're going to take our blue food coloring and go into our 5th cup. So again, 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we're going to let those colors get settled. And while they're doing that, we're going to set up the next part of our experiment. So you want to take your sheets of paper towel. And again, if you have a half sheet, this is about the size we want. And you're going to fold it in half lengthwise, like that. So it's even skinnier. And then you're going to do it again. So you have this nice thin sheet. It's a little long though. We need it to be a little bit shorter. So we're going to cut off about, let's see, about 3 inches or so. So we're just going to snip that. If you have a pair of scissors nearby, make sure you have a grown-up help you. Okay, so now it's a little bit shorter, but it's still really skinny because we folded it like that. Okay, so you're going to do this for 6 sheets of paper towel. I already did mine so that you wouldn't have to watch me fold all of them. So I have a little stack here that's nice and ready to go. You want to make sure you fold all of your paper towels so they're ready to put in. That way we can move kind of fast so we can see the experiment. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. I will explain to you first what we're going to do because I'm going to try to do it sort of quickly. But you're going to take, starting with your very first cup, you're going to take your paper towel and you're going to put half of it into the cup and then the other half into the cup next to it. So you're making like a bridge between the two. And then you're going to take another paper towel and you're going to do the same thing. So half of it into the second cup, the other half into the third, and you're going to keep going down all the way to the end. So let's get started. I go half and half. And if you need to kind of move it, that's okay. Half and half. Into the third and fourth cup, the fourth and fifth, fifth and sixth, and then into our last cup here. And they kind of move around a little bit, so you want to make sure that you adjust them and so that there's half of the paper towel in each one. So now we watch and see what happens. So what can you see happening already with some of these cups? Do you see any colors moving? I think it's a little bit easier to see in the darkest one. So if you look at this blue one, you can see that the paper towel is blue and it's going all the way up here. And the red ones, although it looks a little more pink, you can see the color up to there. Let me just watch and see what happens. You can see the lighting makes it a little hard, but you can see the yellow one as well. All kind of traveling through the paper towels. Making kind of a cool, like a rainbow of color here. So what's happening? How are we getting red food coloring all the way over here in this empty cup? Even though there's no water, there's no red food coloring in this cup. So water is able to do this by a force called capillary action. Basically, each paper towel, I don't have an extra one here, each paper towel is made up of fibers, and the water is able to move through the fibers, and in a way it's climbing up the paper towel. So the empty spaces between the fibers is acting sort of like a tube, and it's sucking the water up, even though normally gravity would pull something down. It's the same way that a plant or a tree can have water travel through the roots that are in the ground all the way up to the leaves. So the water is basically climbing up the fibers, which is super cool that it can do that. And so what we're seeing here is the water is doing that through the paper towel, and the food coloring is making it easier to see. Because if you just have clear water, you can't really tell as easily that it's moving. But here we have, you can see red all the way down here, and it's traveling even further all the way down to the bottom of the paper towel. Like I said, the yellow is moving. It's just a little hard to see with the lighting here, but maybe if I move it a little bit, you can see that's much darker than the rest. Yeah, and the blue. So it's a little bit darker, and then as it's passing through, it's a little bit lighter because the color is being diluted by the water. So the more color that you add to it, the darker it's going to be, but we only used 5 drops, so it's not super, super dark. And then here, this looks pretty cool. So you have sort of, you have sort of like an ombre effect. So it's darker on the bottom and it gets lighter, and then it moves into this one, and this one is blue. So you have this very cool rainbow effect. So I think that's about it for today. Hopefully, you can try this at home and you can see a little bit better what the colors are doing, but it's a super cool experiment. Maybe if I move my camera, you can see it a little bit better. So let's see here. Let me go there. You can see from the top the colors that are bridging between the cups. So it's just a fun, easy little experiment that you can do at home, and it looks really pretty too. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time.